Hello everybody, and this is a video here showing my phone collection. The top phone right there is my current phone, the iPhone 15. I'll get to that one more towards the end and do comparisons here to all the other phones I've owned. But I have owned 8 phones throughout my entire life. My very first phone, I was 11 years old. This was in December 2006. The first 6 phones that I owned were, majority of them were Christmas presents, but then I had one of the iPhone 4 that was just given to me as from my dad. I have just something to start out with. I'll get to that a bit more. Just want to kind of give a general overview here, but kind of give you an idea of things. But anyway, well, let's start with the very first one here. The first 3 basic phones here. My only 3 basic phones I had from Verizon, and this here. Oh, I get this centered here. This is the LG VX5200 flip phone, and just keep in mind that outside of my last 2 phones, I had to buy all these other ones off of eBay, so these weren't the exact copies of ones that I personally owned, except for just my last 2 phones here. This is a flip phone. I'm sure you guys probably remember this kind of stuff here. Back when this was common. I'll start this up for you guys. You guys remember that old startup on Verizon phones? Now, I've had some issues here with the battery on it. I think the charging port's messed up. I've tried a couple different chargers, but I'm not really too overly worried about it. But remember, you had to go through like menu here. Look at this layout. Get it now store. That might bring back some memories to you guys. That would just be a shortcut right there. You had these shortcuts here with like these keys. I remember sometimes I'd be hitting like this get it now store by accident. And that's right, there was like this one here.
Loss of service.
Oh. That's right, there's some of it with news there. But then you would actually be able to turn the speaker on. And there it is, the shutdown. So that's the first phone that I owned. That was from December 2006 up until December 2008. My original model, I actually wound up losing it down the vent. I was trying to make it like warm upstairs in the house that I lived at when I was first doing my YouTube videos. I first started my YouTube videos, and wound up going right down, and there was no way getting it back. But anyway, this is my second phone that I owned here, the LG Venus. It's a slider phone. This was my first touchscreen phone. It had the leather back cover. It's very comfortable to hold. Just crazy, 2025, just, looking back, just seeing, how small these phones were and everything. This one, previous owner, looks like they kind of had it in decent shape here. It is a little worn. It wasn't like that in my original. I don't even know what happened to it, to be honest. the sliding transition isn't really quite as good as the one that I own, but it'll do. These phones were kind of popular at the time, but the yeah, look at that. Oh man, yeah, we gotta press the music key to unlock the phone, and there you go. Let's master volume there. Be hard at sometimes, kind of. And make it louder here for you guys. The layout of it here. That's the one here, this touchscreen. I kind of have to press a little harder. This was not that difficult for the one I owned, one I personally had. Then kind of shows you a layout here. Holding my iPad here at the same time while I'm trying to record this. Mobile IM, you guys remember that? That used to be built into these feature phones. What, AOL, MSN, Yahoo Messenger? Get it now, store? Kind of gives you an idea of what that layout was. I could have gone into it with the other one, but just power save mode here. Now, hold it down to end. And that's a wrap with that one. So that was from December of 2008 until December 2010, which leads to my third phone from December 2010 up until I think it was July 2014. Yeah, I had a bit of a stint where I didn't have a phone. This one right here, it is the Pantech Hotshot. This was an all touchscreen phone, and this was my longest stint phone that I owned until the iPhone 8 Plus. You see it has a pretty nice feeling back cover to it. And back then, you know, batteries were removable. It was so easy to, you know, just slide that stuff out and whatnot. That's right, we have the power button at the top right here. Take a minute for this to turn on. I don't know how well heard that was, but this is just the layout that you had on this thing. And yeah, they don't have the time right on. Time was not right on these phones because like you actually had to have service and stuff. So it really is like right around like 3:30 right now while I'm recording this. This kind of was like a knockoff iPhone in a way. Kind of gave you guys a little bit of an idea here. how things were. I think I did take a picture once. No, I didn't. We were experimenting on this a little bit. And also when I lock the phone, right, just drag up to unlock. Does that seem a little familiar to you guys? Alright. Now, we are on to my only smartphones being iPhones. I've had Straight Talk ever since September 2014. And this one right here, that's all one. iPhone 4. My very first iPhone I owned. And as you can see, these phones just keep getting bigger and bigger over time. Nope, let me, hold on a second. There we go. Shows you the back of the phone right there. I owned this one from September 2014 up until December 2015. Oh. Current phone's going off in the background. This phone had terrible battery life. I mean, it was old even for its time. It was just something kind of hold me over. So yeah, I didn't really have that great of experience with it. The Wi-Fi didn't even work on it. And sounds didn't work on except for like calls and alarms. I mean, it was a mess of problems, but it got the job done for what it needed to. So now on the next phone here, iPhone 5S. This one here was this first iPhone that had the Touch ID. Also, I mean, you look at just like. Also, look at like how small these cameras are too. Just crazy seeing that. I own this from. Oh yeah. Also, I forgot to mention here the side buttons too. Just like also on the 4. Look how different those were back then. I owned this phone from December 2015 to December 2017. I felt like I had a pretty decent experience. That was 16 gigabytes as well, just like the iPhone 4, by the way. Now, we're on to the iPhone 6. This was 32 gigabytes. This was a pretty good upgrade for me at the time. Also, Touch ID was more refined, and you know, I feel like I had a pretty solid experience with this phone. I owned this from, it was December 2017 up until July 2020. See the back of the phone here. And now here, so this is where we start really going bigger here. This was a massive upgrade for me at the time. I've only bought 2 phones ever, and this was the first one, the iPhone 8 Plus, 128 gigabytes, and I did have 2 other cases for this. I never had to get one clear one just to kind of hold me over here, but this is, you know, still even for 2025 standards, a pretty good size screen, I would say. My just ignore that. There are those air bubbles there. My screen protector's just not yeah, it needs to be changed there. And you can still see that I have this phone from July 2020 up until October 2024 in terms of usage. This model is still like the one that I've owned, so it wasn't any sort of knockoff or anything, like nothing I bought elsewhere for the display here. And now we're on to my current phone, the iPhone 15, and my goodness, now It's still only 128 gigabytes. So, you know, it wasn't like the 4 times memory increase like it was from the 6 to 8 Plus. Screen size goes from, you know, 5.5 to 6.1 inches, which actually, in a weird way, if you, so I'm going to go here side by side with these phones. What's so crazy is that this is a bigger screen by 0.6 inches. But because of the bezels and whatnot from the design and also the home button, that's what makes this phone bigger than that phone. I got an OtterBox case on this, and there's the 2 camera design. I really love this diagonal camera design. It's just something, you know, something pretty unique. You know, I would not be against if Apple made a not triangular, but like a tic-tac-toe looking design where it was like 3 like going down like that toward the middle. But that's it there. That is my phone collection. So as a recap, LG VX5200 flip phone, LG Venus is a slider, Pantech Hotshot all touchscreen phone, and then for the iPhones, the 4, 5S, 6, 8 Plus, and the 15.